Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore. How are you doing? Oh, I'm so excited to be here. It's so nice to see you guys again. And it's so nice to, have some solutions. I have something tonight that I think you might want to listen to. And I'm hopeful that it will help you. I'm hopeful that you will gain answers in this video to address your problems that you have with a narcissist. Do you guys know Everly Brothers? They have a song, Problems, Problems, Problems all day long. Have you heard that song? It's a catchy little tune, they play with their guitar and they're singing about their loved ones and, their baby who doesn't think that, doesn't want them. And so they're like, there's just a problem here. And so it's just a catchy tune to get you out of this funk as problems kind of bog us down, right? Well, before we get into this video, just to let you guys know, I've got water simmering. It's coming to a boil soon as I'm going to make some tea for myself. So I just have to leave you in just a few minutes. So yeah, I thought my tea would be ready in time for this video, but no. Hi, Dela, nice to see you. Welcome, come on in. So, the issue we have of problems. Problems plague us all day long. Problems all day long. Okay, so I can't sing the Everly Brothers, and maybe you guys don't know who they are. Look them up. They're a pretty catchy band. And anyways, are you struggling to let go of someone? Well, I'm going to share with you a little bit of science, why that is, why you can't let go of the narcissist. And there is a solution. Oh, you're having tea too, English breakfast tea at 10 o'clock p.m. I think I have some English breakfast tea, but no, I'm just having some cinnamon and ginger. So, yeah, and I think I hear it. It's good enough. As long as it's hot. I really don't care at this point. I'll be right back. I'll hurry. Okay, I'm here. Hello, I'm here. Okay, welcome. Hi, everyone. Thanks I had to get some tea. So, it's nice and warm. It's nice and hot. Ooh, it was just starting to boil. I could hear it. So, anyway, so tonight I want to talk about, since it's been pretty intensive the last, few lives that we've done about, Ted and other people have had, in our chats, we've, kind of figured out that there is an issue. The narcissist has a hold on us. And that hold is very hard to get rid of. Like it's this pull, you're drawn to the narcissist. There's a reason for it. When you lose the affections and attentions of a narcissist, you encounter the emotional hurdle called obsession. We don't think that's what it is, but that's what it is. See, your feelings for the narcissist are all consuming. You just want them back. And the reason why you want them back, as what I think Joe was also struggling with this too, and Ted was definitely struggling with this, that it's the rumination that you go through. Rumination is your mind trying to solve the problem on its own by the analytical center. And so what ends up happening is you end up thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking about the problem. You're not with the narcissist anymore. You're not with the narcissist. What are you going to do? And that often brings in more problems as you think, what am I going to do? Okay, well, you're not focused on a solution, but you're trying to find a solution, but you're trying to find a solution from the problem. We're going to talk about that because this is where rumination happens, and oftentimes our mind convinces us in order to stop this rumination, you have to go back to the narcissist because that is what alleviates the feelings of fear and doubt and unworthiness and rejection and abandonment. Kind of sounds like addiction, as that's what it is. We become obsessed because our minds are addicted chemically to the narcissist. So your feelings for the narcissist are all consuming, and you can't think straight. Your mind is fixated on them to the point where sometimes you can't even sleep at night. You don't want to eat. You can't, you've probably tried reading something and you've read the sentence 5 times because you're just not focused. Even if you go and watch TV, you're just staring at it blankly and you're not taking it in because your mind is so focused on the narcissist. It's all consuming. It's obsessive. Your thoughts about the narcissist are obsessive, and that doesn't have anything to do against you. It's part of the trauma bond. So you're playing scenarios over in your mind, finding no solution. That's because what you are going through. It's not just emotional. See, emotions are chemical, and that's what's going on first. See, the brain releases a cocktail of dopamine, oxytocin, and other feel-good chemicals or hormones, making their presence within you feel addictive. Your brain needs your narcissistic fix. Just like how somebody who is detoxing from drug addiction. Detox and alcohol addiction is not easy to get over, and those withdrawals are debilitating. And if the person has been drinking or has been doing drugs for a long period of time, and they're chemically dependent on these things, well, withdrawal from them has to be not cold turkey. You have to slowly wean yourself off, because if you go cold turkey, those symptoms can be life-threatening. And that's what it feels like with the narcissist. Those symptoms of withdrawal to that addiction that the narcissist causes through that trauma bond, that idealization and the devaluing dynamic that goes on in the relationship, that's addicting. And so when you are going through a withdrawal of the narcissist, it feels life-threatening. Your brain feels like it's being threatened. And so your brain is trying to convince you with this rumination to go back to them or have them come back to you. Hi, Resistor. How you doing? Withdrawals hurt and mess with your emotions. Absolutely, they do. How you doing? How's it going? So these feel-good chemicals make the presence of the narcissist, even in your mind, even if they aren't with you, you're addicted to them, and you're just like praying to God, please, God, please. And this is where God is silent with us. So breaking free from the narcissist can feel like a withdrawal. And we're forced to go cold turkey. There's no weaning off the narcissist. I mean, yeah, when you finally get enough of the narcissist, where you finally had enough, and it's your decision to leave, yeah, you're done. You cut yourself off because you're done. You've done the slow weaning off the narcissist by understanding who they are, what they're doing. You understand your own symptoms of abuse, and it's a lot easier than when the discard or the breakup comes from your end, because you're ready for it, But when the narcissist does it, you're not ready for it, and so they just kind of cut you off from the relationship, and you're left to go cold turkey without them, and that's what initiates the withdrawal symptoms. So your brain has you feeling restless and anxious and consumed by thoughts of them, just so it can just in attempts for you to go back to the narcissist, and your brain can have its quick fix of these feel-good hormones. But you can rewire your brain and alleviate those withdrawal symptoms with intentional practices. My withdrawals felt like demon attacks. Yeah. Oh yeah, some of them probably are. I wouldn't doubt it. Now you can use techniques such as mindfulness, breath work, and journaling to help reset those chemical imbalances, giving your mind space to heal. You have to become determined, though. You have to have an intention, as it is important for you to make a mindful decision in determination to alleviate the withdrawal symptoms of abuse. So after you go through, probably a few weeks to a month after you go through withdrawals from the narcissist, you begin to realize that things aren't really getting any better. And so you have to take initiative. You have to do this. And you have to become determined with intention, as it's important that you make your own decision, your own mindful decision in determination to alleviate the withdrawal symptoms of abuse. Do you want to keep going through this, or do you want some sort of peace? So you have to come to this determination where I'm going to seek out peace, and I'm going to do what I can to find it. And so that's the first step. That's the initial step of just inquiring, okay, well, this is what I want. This is my intention. Now you make the inquiry. Where do I go from here? I want peace. This isn't giving me peace. So me keeping in step with my thoughts, it's not working. So how do I do this? Well, that's where you understand what mindfulness is. Breath work and journaling can help you. And the important thing to remember is that it's not just their memory you are hanging on to. It's the feelings that they projected onto you that are also your biggest adversary that you have to stand up against. So this is where the battle begins. This is the war. So there was a peace treaty that the narcissist basically made with you when you guys decided to get into a relationship, whether platonic or otherwise, and they broke that peace treaty. It's in Revelation. The Antichrist makes a peace treaty and breaks it. This is it. This is another aspect of it. This isn't the only thing. When you're dealing with the spirit, there's more than one thing you can attach a scenario to, and it's multi-layered, multifaceted. So just understand that you're in war now. Hi, Ted. Shared fantasy bullshit. Exactly. I did not sign up for this, and you are right about empathy towards ourselves first. Yes. Yes, it is most important. And it's difficult because when we go into a relationship, Ted, oftentimes we don't have empathy for ourselves first, and we give our empathy to the narcissist, to the other person, as that's the right thing to do. But we don't realize that we're neglecting ourselves, because they sometimes, at the beginning, they trade our empathy and make us feel good. So it's a give and take, and we learn to rely on that give and take, and then they take that away from us. And then we're like, what the hell? What happened? So don't hate yourself, hun. You're going to be okay. You may not like who you are or who you have become, but that's okay. You're still a good person. You are still loved by God. You're still good peeps. You are still honorable. So keep going. One effective approach is grounding exercises. For example, when the intrusive thoughts arise, just redirect your focus to the present moment by engaging your senses. We talked about this earlier, stay in the moment of now. What you see, hear, touch, and smell. What is it right now that you can engage these senses with? Now, this may be simple, and it may seem silly and nonsensical, and I'm so beyond that. Like, that's just stupid, but really, when you're ready, you're going to just, you on your own will just do the breathing exercises to ground yourself in the moment of here and now. And you can ask yourself this question: what in this moment of here and now is it that you need? And you're going to say, no, nothing. I'm good. Because in this moment of here and now, this is where you get to leave the narcissist and those feelings behind. Yeah. Yes. Woohoo! Serious. You are already leaving those feelings behind. But you're not aware of the moment of now, and so you let go of the moment of now, and you travel, you tiptoe into the past or tiptoe into the future, and you take those narcissists with you and their feelings, and you try to meet them on their level through memories, and it doesn't work. There's only 5 people in the world who I trust anymore. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. So this simple practice of engaging in the here and now disrupts obsessive loops. I'm serious. We become obsessed when the narcissist leaves us. And breathing and staying rooted in the here and now, this absolutely disrupts your obsessive loops and helps your brain to establish healthier patterns of living. Now again, this may seem simple and it's easy to do, but it requires your attention. And it's important for you to realize that when you begin your healing journey, hi Sonia, how are you? When you begin your healing journey, you are not going to understand everything at once. It took time for the narcissist to break down your defenses, so it's going to take time to build those defenses back up. So just be kind to yourself. Just go slow, go easy, but just be steady. Healing takes time. And I know you're going to be mad at yourself. This is, being angry at yourself is part of the process. Because when the narcissist discards you, you go through the 5 stages of grief. There's the depression, there's the denial, there's the acceptance, there's the bargaining, and then there's something else. I forget what it is. But, it's a step that is resistant. And you're going to feel all these feelings all at once, one after the other. Just when you think, oh, I'm at the stage of acceptance. Okay, all is good. I'm good. Then boom, something happens to trigger you to where you're fearful, and you're just like, it feels like they just abandoned you. They just discarded you, that the breakup just happened. And then you got to go through it all over again. It's like, what the frick? But this is a process that has to happen because you're not dealing with a regular breakup. This is not a normal relationship that you had. Yeah, those triggers are biatch. So everything takes time. And as long as you are going and making an effort day by day, you're doing well. You're right, they are not normal. That's well said. I agree with you, Ted. They are not normal because they're not human. They're not human. They look human, but they're not human. So healing takes time, and it's a process that needs your committed effort. See, you're going to have to break patterns of behavior and routines to help you reset your inner narrative. You want your peace back. Well, you can have it, but you're going to have to take it back. I like that, not spiritually sane. I like that. You're going to have to, for guts and glory, you are going to have to take back your peace because your peace matters to you. And you're going to have to figure that out. You're going to have to figure out how to do that. And you learn skillfully and artfully by learning what the narcissist is, who they are, why they're doing what they're doing. And you understand your symptoms of abuse. So you thought peace was going to be gained when you said yes to a narcissist. They instead began to colonize your heart and make your emotions actually side with them and stand against you and your best interests. You have to reclaim yourself back from the narcissist. And that's what this is. God showed me today in writing this that I had it backwards, that we are actually dislodging ourselves from the narcissist, the projections, that egoic nature, instead of getting rid of the egoic nature, looking at it and tossing it out the door. We actually have to just step back from this egoic nature. We have to dislodge ourselves from the ego instead of the ego dislodging us from that. Like, instead of us dislodging the ego nature, we have to dislodge ourselves from the egoic nature instead of allowing the egoic nature to be dislodged from us. Now, that may sound confusing, but there is a reason why there's a difference, because the ego likes to think of us and likes to isolate our self-awareness and think, we have this thought that we are our own thinking being. But either we're one with righteousness or one with unrighteousness. And our ego attaches to our self-awareness, which dislodges us from God, because the light inside of us can have nothing to do with darkness. So when we pull ourselves back from the ego, we are stepping into our self-awareness through aligning ourselves with the light. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to align ourselves with God, and we're going to tap into God. And I don't know why I didn't see this before, because I used to do this. I used to have such a wonderful relationship with God before the narcissist frickin' got a hold of it. So, but we can get it back. So now that you know that you have a chemical dependence on the narcissist, how to best balance those hormones is to seek out ways that establish new beginnings with you. Take up hobbies, go and exercise, volunteer your services to a good cause, engage in gardening or just working with your hands. And take the time to self-assess your moral compass. Like, get in touch with your morality. Write down your goals, how you see yourself, how you used to see yourself, and how has your integrity changed? How has your ethics and your morality changed from since you first met the narcissist, maybe even a few years before? And after they're gone, what have you lost? What have you gained? I hardly know who I am anymore. This is your video. This video is for you, Ted. So I'm telling you that right now. This video is for you, Ted. So, and all of you all. But, God had you in mind with this. He loves you. So now that you know that you have a chemical dependence on the narcissist, it's up to you to figure it out. Understand that there's dopamine, there's cortisol, there's other feel-good hormones going on like adrenaline and epinephrine. There's all these hormones going on that is keeping you in a state of fight or flight or even freeze. Hi, Light Within. How you doing? It's nice to see you. So how you can wean yourself off of this chemical cocktail is to take up hobbies, like I said, exercise, volunteer your services to a good cause, engage in gardening. I mean, gardening's, that's my jam. I love gardening. Just working with your hands. When you find that you're working with your hands, even writing, journaling, sculpting, molding, getting clay, and just, even get some Play-Doh. I know it stinks, but you can get smelly Play-Doh that smells like chocolate and orange and all of that. Just get some kids Play-Doh and just, fiddle with it, mash it up in your hands, and just mold it. It takes your mind off of things. It keeps you busy. Or you can do this havening exercise that we did yesterday. Now you can also just take a look at, it might be in your best interest to just journal this out, but you can journal or write out some concerns of yours, personal concerns. Maybe you have a question, maybe you have a problem that needs solving, and okay, I have an issue with, not getting to work on time. Maybe that's something that you never had before, but after the narcissist, maybe that's an issue now. So you have to figure out, why are you procrastinating? Procrastinating is not a behavioral trait per se. It's from depression, and it's from actual anxiety. So you can challenge yourself. When your alarm goes off, instead of hitting that button, count to 5. Have a 5-second rule, because neuroscience says that when you want to do something and your mind is trying to convince you otherwise, count to 5 and do it, because after the count of 5, you're not going to do it. So your subconscious is basically rules the roost. Your subconscious holds memories of hidden details, of hidden reactions that you gave situations to when you were little. And so your subconscious is going around looking for familiar patterns that fulfill the familiar emotions and responses that you gave when you were a kid. So that's why things are always happening that are bad. That's why bad things happen to you, because your child inside, that childlike nature inside of you is rooted in the subconscious, and you have no conscious memory, but it's still there. And so your conscious mind will make a decision. I want to get up. I got to get up at 7 o'clock. I got to get up for work. But your subconscious mind is like, nope, I'm going to smash the snooze button, and you accidentally hit the off button instead of the snooze button, and you sleep late. And your boss is like saying, Charlie, if you're late just one more time, you got a pink slip, or you're going to be fired. And so it's in your best interest to figure out why you're hitting the snooze button, and most often it's just because you're reacting, just because you're upset and still in autopilot because of the narcissist, because of your trauma, because of whatever the tragedy, whatever you're feeling, and your subconscious is kicking in so to let you sleep. Because when you sleep, you heal, right? But you've got to get up and you got to go to work and you got life to live. So how you do this is, if you feel yourself procrastinating on anything, gee, I got to go to the store and I really don't want to. I don't want to put on my boots and I don't want to. It's freaking cold out there. It's 40 below. I don't want to go out there to the store. And you're like, frick, I need milk. And yeah, it's supposed to snowstorm today. But the snow is supposed to let up tomorrow. So yeah, I can wait. I can wait. God says, don't put off tomorrow. Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Because even though the forecast says, oh, it's supposed to be bright and sunny tomorrow, but today it's supposed to storm, you can't trust that, right? You really can't trust that. So how you stop yourself from procrastinating is, say you make a decision to get up or go to the store. You count to 5 after you decide, I'm going to go to the store. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm up. I'm going to put my boots on. It's the same with laying in bed. You hit the snooze button and it's going off. Nee, 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 nee. You know that annoying buzzer? It's just like, ugh. Well, you count to 5. And you're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm up. And you engage in this. Because when you get to 5, like when you're getting to 5, your body is already anxious. Your body is like, are you going to do it? Are you going not? Are you going to? It's like you're challenging your own mind. And your convictions, rule the roost. And so you eventually do get up and you've got this charge inside of you because your body is waiting for you to make the decision. So your body's already on high alert. So you're going to make, chances are you're going to make the decision to get up and get dressed and go get in the shower and go make breakfast and get ready for work and be on work at time and on time, and you're not going to self-sabotage yourself. So it's a little bit challenging at first to follow it, but the more you put it into practice, you'll feel that niggling inside of you in your gut. You'll be like, okay, I'm at number 2. I gotta get up at 5, and at the count of 5, and oh, this feels good. At 3, I feel like I could just snooze. 4, oh my gosh, I really don't want to get up. 5, I'm up. Because it's like your body is preparing you with that adrenaline to just convict you to just follow through and stop hurting yourself. And that's what the narcissist has trained us to do. The narcissist has trained us to self-sabotage ourselves. And when we don't do something that we know we should do, we then end up blaming ourselves. We end up saying, gee, I'm an idiot, I'm a fool, I should have done that, I knew better. No, procrastination is a part of the trauma bond. It's a part of the trauma. It's what we go through. And self-sabotage, that's exactly what the narcissist tries to take us down with. If they can't sabotage us, then they will train us so we sabotage ourselves. Sorry, getting tripped up. So, yeah, it also, Sonia says that it releases stress playing with dough of some sort. Yeah. Joe says, I'm slowly getting myself back. Good. So, I gained some peace and healing at the same time as being in so much pain. If that makes sense, yeah. After he left, yeah. Oh, it's okay, light within. It's okay if you're late. No worries. I was given yellow Play-Doh for a broken thumb to help heal. Awesome. Makes sense. See, that just came to me. Wow. That's awesome. Thank you, Jesus. That just came. It's soothing. I have to find it. I have it somewhere. It's here somewhere. So, yeah. Yeah, I've just, working with, like, I know I've worked with clay before, and I so want a pottery wheel. I'm just like, that's one of my dreams. That's on my bucket list, to have a pottery wheel. in high school, I worked with a bit of pottery and I loved it. And I haven't been able to work with it since, but I love it. And so when I had my garden, I was like digging in the dirt and, watering like I would dig holes to put the potted plants in, and I fill the dirt, and I just loved getting my hands dirty. It just like, and taking the dirt away from the roots and shaking the roots, and so gardening's my jam. It just makes me feel, I love working with my hands. I just love it. And yeah, like I make dough, like I make my own bread and my own buns, so just kneading the dough, that feels good too. So yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 into practice. Yeah, because you're welcome. It helps. I do it all the time. Because I procrastinate. I just like, oh, I'm so comfy. I don't want to get out of bed. Oh, and then it's like, I look at the time and I'm like, oh, I've got 15 minutes more. And I'm just like, my ego's like, well, my reasoning mind is like, well, you could be spending that extra 15 minutes getting in the shower, brushing your teeth, getting, your bed made and cleaning your room instead of rushing around at the last minute and doing everything. If you have an extra 15 minutes, you can be just taking your time to go through your routine in the morning. And by the time my mind is talking me through that, I'm like, okay. So then I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just into defiance, just, So, but, so give yourself, space to explore yourself. Just take time to assess yourself, even when you come home from work, or even when this is a good time when you're traveling, and if you're on the highway or doing long stints of travel, this is a good time to just turn off the radio and just sit with your thoughts and start talking to yourself, and just give yourself a little pep talk, or start thinking about, what do you really want in life? What do you realize that where you went wrong in life, where your decisions, not just the narcissist decisions, but where your decisions have sidelined you. This is your time for self-assessment. With them gone, this is a perfect time for self-assessment. It's awesome. Ghost movie pottery scene comes to mind. Exactly. Also fidget toys. Exactly. Those are good too. So chances are, hi Matt, how you doing? You are the narcissist and you feel horrible. Did you do a narcissistic test online? Because that may help you to show you where areas in your life, in yourself, where you need to work on. Because it's about self-assessment. So we all take on narcissistic qualities. It doesn't mean we're narcissists. So, excuse me. The fact that, congratulations, Matt, for taking the first step of accepting. Yeah, chances are you're not a narcissist. You probably have narcissistic tendencies, just like all of us, but you're not a person who has narcissistic personality disorder, because a narcissist wouldn't take the blame. A narcissist, you know how a narcissist would talk about their ex? She's crazy. He's crazy. He abused me. He hurt me. She hurt me. She took the kids away from me. She's a witch. So, no, I really have NPD. Okay. So that's what she says about you. So is she a therapist? Is your wife a therapist? Because narcissists talk smack talk about their exes. They don't have anything nice to say about their exes, and they don't take the blame for ruining their marriage. They don't take ownership of it. So, yeah, so she's not a therapist. So then if you're willing, go to therapy and see what the therapist has to say. But no. Hi, Alexander. How are you? It's better to live in the desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. I just read that quote from scripture today. So Sonia says, yeah, but what someone tells you does not have to be your reality exactly. Well, you've been to therapy? Good for you. Are you sticking with it? I was looking into how to stop ruminating thoughts over the narc. Music, meditation, journaling, reading, walking, painting, praying, and aggressively saying no out loud. Yeah. Think of rumination like an earworm. You know when you have this song in your head and you can't get rid of it? Well, the solution to get, that's called an earworm, and the solution to get rid of it is to listen to the song to its entirety, right to the end. So with rumination, you're focusing on yourself, because with rumination, you're making the narcissist the problem, or you're making them the solution, and you're saying that you're the problem. If only I do this, if I only do that, if I say this, if I say that, they'll take me back and I'll do the better and I'll be better, and you're making them the prize. But by focusing and making you the focus, you're showing yourself that you're not so bad. You're showing yourself that, hey, I enjoy crafting, I enjoy gardening, I enjoy listening to this music, I enjoy going for a walk and exercising. You're enjoying your own time, and you're proving to yourself that the problem is not you, it's them. And that stops rumination. So it's chaos. It's not meant to make sense. That's right. So yeah. Oh, people like to blame each other, you know, like maybe she's the narcissist. You never know. Don't know. So, but so chances are when you're going through this, you know, this understanding that you've been chemically bonded to the narcissist and now you're addicted, so now you have to you have this need to just be with them because that will stop the emotional pain. No, it's just going to create more. It doesn't stop it, it just creates more. And so you're going to start questioning who you are as you're going to go through an identity shift. You might even have an identity crisis as you ask yourself, who am I? And who have you always been this way? Did you even know yourself at all? Did the narcissist even know you at all? So you're going to seem like a stranger to yourself. Oh, you won't sign the divorce papers. And you're going to have a narcissistic collapse. Oh dear. Alexander says, but I still think about her because it hurts still. I don't want to be with her. I'm just angry with her. Yeah. You lost 70 pounds in 4 months. Wow. Yeah, I was reading something online about, it was a Twitter feed about somebody asking men who have cheated what they felt like after cheating. And the people that were, responded to this question, like there was about 6 to 8 answers. And they were like saying, some of them said I wouldn't do it again. But then you could read the narcissistic answers where they said, it was like you kind of got to jump through hoops the first 15 minutes to make sure that your wife doesn't find out that you've cheated. But after they haven't figured it out, after they spiritually haven't figured it out, then it's all smooth sailing from there. And I do it again in a heartbeat. I'm just like, what? So yeah, narcissists are, they cheat because this a thrill. They're kind of like adrenaline junkies. So yeah. No, well, that's good that you never cheated on her. That's wonderful, Matt. That's integrity right there. And but many narcissists do cheat. Some don't, but many do, and it's quite alarming this day and age. So when you see yourself as a stranger, this is natural, and what you can do is just spend time with yourself by looking at yourself in a mirror. I love doing mirror work. And when I was writing this out, I was feeling such peace for all of us. Like, this is just, I'm excited to do this tonight. And I will do it tonight. And I was just like, I'll do this into the wee hours of the morning if I have to, because I want to get back to my relationship with God the way I used to be. So, I'd like you guys to just do some mirror work. And this is just speaking to yourself in the mirror as someone who is newly introduced to you. May I introduce you to Shannon? Hi, how are you? It's nice to meet you. It's nice to see you. Boy, you're looking pretty spunky today. You got a smile on your face. What's going on? How you doing? There's nothing wrong with talking to yourself like that. It will feel awkward at first. I'm in Canada, Oshawa, Ontario. You, Matt? Well, this isn't scrying. This is just looking at yourself in the mirror with the light on. I don't promote scrying. That's a form of divination. No, this is just looking at yourself in the mirror with the light on, please. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend that. I've used an Ouija board when I was young, so I don't want to do anything. I used to do seances and stuff, and no, I don't want to do anything like that. But scrying is, yeah, looking at in the mirror with the light off. But we want to do this with the light on, okay? Like you're doing your hair, you're shaving, putting on your makeup. Just take some time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, how you doing, gorgeous? How you doing, handsome? How you doing, beautiful? What's going on today? So, yeah. So, still pretty cool. You have seen the dark side? Yeah. It's cool now, but it scared the bejeebies out of me. It's definitely scary. And, yeah, nothing can prepare you for it. Nothing. So look at yourself in the mirror and speak to yourself as someone who is newly introduced to you. It's going to feel awkward at first, but look at yourself and talk to yourself as if the person in the mirror doesn't know you, because really this is the reflection of you, right? But your brain doesn't know that. Your brain sees you looking back at yourself. And so this is going to really supplant some really needed self-affirming talk and self-affirming feelings within you. So be honest with yourself and look yourself in the eye when you do this. See what happens when you introduce yourself to somebody. You usually share the best of yourself with them, right? So let me catch up here. So I didn't get an apology either, Alexander. When I found out my ex cheated on me, it caused me to question everything of who I am. It caused me to have an identity crisis. And I thought I was his one and only, and I tried to talk to him about it, and he'd just fight. And I forgave him in the Lord, and so he just, confessed, wiped. That was his form of wiping his hands clean, cleaning the slate off, and that was it. He thought he didn't have to talk about it or make amends or anything. And I was in the wrong for being turned sideways and inside out with emotions. So yeah, it happens, hun. It does happen. So yeah. Yeah, he did keep cheating. Yep. So that's when, the last time that brought on the divorce, I was sitting there and, I had a really good relationship with God, and I heard God tell me, go check his internet, go check his email. And I'm not one to snoop, but I was given his email because my ex worked on the oil rigs, so he thought it would be best in case something happened to him that I would have access to his password on his, on his computer. So I'm just like, okay, God, I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I went and I looked on the past history of the web browser, and I saw that he wanted a divorce. He was looking for a divorce lawyer 2 years prior, before I went looking. I'm like, oh, really? That stung. And then I found in his email, he had in his spam folder that he answered was a woman, what was it, a Russian bride. And he responded to her, and his words were, I am married, but I'm willing to talk to you. And then in his spam folder, I found a XXX website, or XXX dating website, like a raunchy website. And this was like, they called, like I saw that, he had several emails coming in from this website, and I clicked on one, and it was personally to him. So he signed up for a newsletter from this website because they addressed him by name, and click now for 25% off on your, and I'm like, what? You have an account? So I went on that website, I typed in, he used the same password for his email, and I found it. I got into the back door of his ad on this XXX website. And I knew it was him. Like his profile, it was stuck out like a red thumb, like a sore thumb, like, because he was a person that didn't have very good spelling. Most narcissists don't have very good spelling. They're dyslexic, or they just spell things phonetically, or so yeah, so I that's how I confronted him. And you know what he said? He said, I don't think I made a post. I don't think I made an account. You don't think. Like, really? And then another tell for narcissists, I swear to God I didn't do it. I swear to God I didn't do it. May God strike me down with lightning if I am guilty. Yeah, so there's red flags. They'll try to get away with anything if they could. So what happens when you introduce yourself to someone? You usually share the best of yourself, right? So what questions do people usually ask you when you meet them for the first time? So Gerald, what do you do? So Samantha, what is it that you do? So where are you living now? Oh, it's so nice to see you. We need to get together sometime. Whereabouts are you? Do you know the little tea shop down the road? Maybe we can have coffee sometime. So talk to yourself like that in the mirror. And how that would look like is, hi, my name is Shannon. How you doing? I'm 52 years old, and I'm a mother of 4 beautiful children, and I'm a teacher online as I share the Word of God to help people who are struggling the negative effects of narcissism. Oh, really? You think that sounds fascinating? It is. I feel so blessed to do what I do, and the people that I meet, they are such wonderful people. They are just so sweet and so loving. God has just blessed me with such friendships and family. Like, these people are just really awesome, and I couldn't ask for a better career. So that's how it would look like. And so then you just start talking to yourself about yourself more, and you then start talking to yourself away from the mirror, as you're cooking breakfast or getting dressed or even driving. If you're alone in the car, use the rear view mirror to talk to yourself eye to eye as you're driving, or maybe you're stuck in traffic. So, you're looking in the rear view mirror and you're like, "Hi, how you doing today? So what do you think about this traffic? What do you think about the weather, eh? What's up with that? So what are your plans today?" "Well, I plan to go and, go visit Mom at the old folks home today." "Okay, well, how do you think that's going to turn out?" I think it's going to go well. Mom's doing pretty great. Just talk to yourself. So, see, for me, I would say, "So, Shanna, you're stuck in traffic. Does that even bother you?" Because some people don't like being stuck in traffic. And I'd be like, "No, not at all. As long as I have enough gas in the tank." Just kind of making a little funny. But I enjoy the solitude. And listening to the motor run in the quiet allows me to think. I like thinking about God and reflecting on the lessons. And these lessons that He has taught us so far. So, then I'll just say, God is really amazing. God has gotten me through a lot of things. And that just transitions into me praising God to myself. So, since it's just you in the car, why not share and reflect with yourself and to remind yourself how far you've come in your journey in life? It's like, why not reflect on wonderful memories? Why not take the time to share with yourself and reflect on testimonies about God? So, you talk to God like that too? Cool. Awesome. That's awesome, Tony. Hi, how are you doing? So, it may seem like this is so simplistic, but you'd be surprised how many people don't want to talk to themselves in the mirror. You'd be surprised how many people don't want to talk to themselves because, it's the sign of being crazy is talking to yourself. No, it's not. No, it's not. People say that to, who says that? The enemy started saying that in order to prevent us from having a relationship. So it's easy to reflect on good memories, and it's easy to share with yourself, to remind yourself of God's goodness by reminding yourself of your testimony or something that God got you out of. You need to hear from your own voice encouraging things. So don't stop yourself. This is how you nurture yourself through the hard times and the pain the narcissist causes. Ha ha, what if the mirror answers back? Funny, funny, Ted. Very funny. You're so funny. If the narcissist answers back, if you answer if the mirror answers yourself back, then you can just give yourself a raspberry something. I don't know. But chances are, if you try doing this mirror exercise, you're going to love it. Especially with your sense of humor. Yeah, you're going to do it. You'll love it. So, then you're in trouble. I just can't grasp how a person could not want to be loved unconditionally, because they're not a person, they're not human, they have no empathy. You're still thinking about them being like you. They're not like you. They look like you, but they're not you. Think of them as an automaton. They're just a robot. Think of all, and this started in China, think of all the people who are buying robots to have sex with. What kind of person has to have sex with a robot? And, you know, is it going to be like people are going to be marrying robots now through the government, and the government's going to issue, you know, marriage certificates to robots? It's a pretty twist and sick dynamic here, and only somebody who has no empathy could marry themselves and link them up to an inanimate object. But that's what we do, and we don't even realize it. We're you know, sharing our bodies with inanimate objects in the way of a narcissist. They have no empathy. They can't relate to us, and they never want to. They don't want to. So as you do this mirror, this talking in the mirror, I encourage you to bring God into the conversation. God is in you, and your eyes are the window to the soul, are they not? So look deeply into your eyes, and it's okay if you cry. God sees you. God's not going to judge you. But when you look at yourself in the eye, you're going to see the God within. And then you can begin to take God wherever you go, as you become mindful of his presence within you, even when you're not talking to him in the mirror. You will find that you will ask questions, such as, God, okay, you were there when the boss asked me to stay overtime. How would you have handled this? What can I say for next time? Because God, I have a feeling the boss is going to ask me to do this again. And wait for an answer. Or you can talk to God about your sorrows, about the past hurts. God, I need to ask you something. Why do I have an addiction to chocolate? For me, I asked that God personally. And God answered me, and I had an addiction to chocolate because when I was younger, my sister would babysit me, and her and her friends would do stupid things to me, and don't tell mom. And so she would buy my loyalty and silence with chocolate. So, and yeah, it hurt. But I asked God for the answer, and I know God is always truthful with us. He doesn't lie. So he'll tell you what you're able to handle. He's not gonna hurt you with the truth. I mean, I did cry, because I mean, you know, I explored this a little bit further than just the chocolate, but you know, and I came to some realizations about my past with my memories of my sister that are also fractured. But you know, I trust God, and God always has your best interests at heart. He's not going to share the truth with you that you are not going to be able to accept. So when you start talking to God in the mirror, you begin to take him wherever you go, and it just becomes habit just to speak like Moses. I remember I used to say to God, I want a relationship with you like Moses had with you. We can have that. God's in here. So you can take God wherever you go, and it's not just in everyday activities either. It's also when you read the Bible. You take God with you wherever you go, and when you read the Bible, you can ask, Jesus, what did you mean by using these specific words together? Or, Jesus, I understand this part of Scripture, but this one I'm not sure about. Can you help me figure that out? And he will. Your Bible studies are going to actually become your date nights with Jesus. It's going to be awesome for you. So I think this is the easiest solution to solving our relationship problems with the narcissist, by replacing the narcissist with someone infinitely better. Jesus is always our solution. The narcissist projection that we haven't let go of keeps us focused on the problem. And when we are focused on the problem from the logical perspective of the mind, the analytical mind, we cannot find a solution. It's like on a spinning loop feed. There's problem, there's problem, there's a problem, but there's no solution within that problem. Solutions to problems can only be found by thinking creatively from the right side of the brain. The left side is where the ego dominates. It's the analytical side, the logical center. And the right side is actually where creativity is and where you can talk to God. God, talks to you from your right side of the brain, but you're ignored from the left side of the brain. So the ego tries to find a solution only by creating another problem. But that's a problem in itself. See, the logical center creates problem scenarios for us to seemingly solve. But that's just another gaslight. These scenarios that hold our focus cause us to choose from which problem scenario is best for us to endure and live through. So this is what Scripture says. Yeah, lizard brain, exactly. No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. He has delivered us from such a deadly peril, and He will deliver us again. On Him we have set our hope that He will continue to deliver us. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. Psalms chapter 34, 19. Write that down. Ooh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Whew. Oh, that was a soothing sneeze. Whew. 34, verse 19. Okay. So what if every problem holds the key to its own solution? While that seems like a no-brainer, sorry, stuff on my desk right here. So that seems like a no-brainer. There is a catch. When we fixate on the problem, we lose sight of the solution. The solution seems far away thanks to the law of opposites. This governing dynamic is in the world, and what makes it worse is we often look at the problem itself to solve it. And that's where we go wrong. Okay? Because there can be no solution while standing inside the problem. We have to change our perspective, and that's why I said that we have to detach ourselves from the problem instead of allowing ourselves to, detach the problem from us. The two perspectives might seem equal, but they're not. So when we detach ourselves from the problem, we actually walk ourselves back into the care of God. So we have to change our perspective, and how we do that is to think creatively from the creative center mind, as we then allow God to do the creative thinking for us, leading us into the promised land, leading us into the land of milk and honey. Yay! Now, all we have to do is to reclaim that land, is to thwart off the narcissist attachments, the ego, and how we do that is to detach ourselves from it by focusing on God. So we allow God to do the creative thinking for us without worrying about what the solution will look like. This is where submission and trust come in. So we're taught the solutions lie on the other side of our problems, as people say, to, you got to go in, you got to go inwardly. And that's true. You've got to look at the ego in order to identify it, to see what exactly is the problem. And we find that door, and that door is like a barrier. We want to go to the other side. We want to go to freedom. We want to go to the freedom land. But we can't get to freedom land by going through the logical center. The logical center is prevented from going through the creative center. It doesn't work. But God is on the other side of that door. The door is in the middle, where, meet me in the middle kind of thing. Well, God meets us in the middle, and the door from the logical side, all we have to do is open the door, and God is there. And we step out, we step ourselves away from the logical centers. And we choose to detach ourselves from the problem. We detach ourselves from the problem itself and walk in peace so we can meet God where He is at. See, God doesn't meet us where we're at. If that were true, we wouldn't have to live a repentant lifestyle, but God calls us to meet Him where He is at, because He does not lose His divinity. He doesn't lose His grace. He doesn't lose His righteousness and His benevolence and His purity and His perfection just to meet us down where we're at. Jesus already did that. So we have to meet Jesus where He is at, and that's why Peter said, Lord, tell me to come out onto the water, and I will. When Peter walked on water, at first he walks out confidently. When Jesus tells him to come, he gets out of the boat and confidently walks across the water. No issues, right? But then the storm comes and Peter's focus shifts. He knows storms. They've battered him as a fisherman on the Sea of Galilee, so his instincts are kicking in, and worry takes over him. And that's human. That's natural. But that's not where Jesus calls us to stay, because God's not going to meet us where we're at. We're called to keep our eyes on Jesus. So as Peter's attention drifts to the storm, fear creeps in and he starts sinking. And the storm hasn't overtaken him. It is his perception that drags him down. In that moment, he calls out, Jesus, save me. And Jesus, in his unwavering grace, reaches out and pulls Peter up. See, again, Jesus doesn't meet Peter on his level in the way of, okay, Jesus starts to sink. No, Peter is pulled up out of the water and placed on the water again, on top of the water. And that's how God takes us. He takes us out of our problems, and we're put spiritually on top of the righteousness, as righteousness will allow us to, focus on Jesus the next time a storm comes. But we keep repeating these patterns until we learn the process, and then we learn that, okay, it's our perspective that is causing these storms to keep coming. So when life throws chaos your way, what do you focus on? Worry, fear. Seems natural, right? But that's the logical center. Those feelings can manifest so powerfully in your body that they convince you that the problem is all there is. That there's not, you're gonna die, or you're going to fail, and you're going to, that problem is so insurmountable that you're just going to, you're going to be a wreck. But Scripture reminds us, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Worry robs you of that joy, and within it, also your strength. So here's the shift. What if problems aren't barriers, but springboards? What if the storm and the winds propel you towards the solution rather than away from it? Instead of allowing the storms to take you up in that whirlwind, allow the winds to propel you away from the storm and into safety, where you're propelled into Jesus's arms. Instead of being consumed by the problem, use it as a cue to redirect your focus. If you got a problem, okay, my feelings are dictating to me that this problem is bothering me. Okay, so what do I need to do? Go to Jesus Instead of doing what seems natural, focusing on the problem, like we've been taught by the narcissist to focus on the problem, because we end up doing what they do when there's a problem. Joy, confidence, and love are your anchors. When challenges arise, they are an opportunity to grow your faith. Don't settle for simply being rescued at the last moment. Instead, let your faith expand so you live not in fear, but in the abundant joy and peace of God. Remember, every problem exists to point to you towards its opposite. Insecurity, it exists to remind you to choose security. Fear, it's a call to step into love, unconditional love. Don't just survive your storms. Let them reveal the strength and joy God has already placed within you. You're not abandoned. You're not alone. You're going to be okay. So today, starting today, when you're faced with a problem, don't just cry out for help. Shift your focus. Allow God to shift your focus. The solution isn't waiting on the other side somewhere. It is, but it isn't. Because we live in this life with opposites. So when you're focused on the solution, when you're focused on the problem, the solution from the logical center is in a place of dormancy. You can't see it. You don't have spiritual eyes. You can't see into the spirit realm with your logical brain. So you can't go and see where the solution is. You have to step into the creative center and look to God and say, God, I need a solution. And God will show you the solution, but he can't show you from the logical center of your mind. So if you're constantly ruminating on your problems, then that's also a call for you to just, okay, I need to shift my focus here. How do I do that? Deep breathing exercises, grounding myself in the present moment, and just maybe talking to myself and giving myself a pep talk. Hey, how you doing? So you're feeling a little bit sad today, huh? Why are you feeling sad? What's going on? Tell me about it. Okay, well, you might be feeling sad, but is that, are you sure that's the reason why you're feeling sad? Could there be something else? Is that a reason to feel sad? Ask yourself these questions. Self-assess. Narcissists don't self-assess. So today, when faced with a problem, just shift your focus. Because the solution is through Jesus, as you can do all things in Christ Jesus, who is your strength. See, with the narcissist, because they don't self-assess, and they're always looking for a problem. Like, they're looking for a solution within the problem. So what they end up doing is gaslighting to make the problem go away, manipulate to make the problem go away, ignore the problem to make the problem go away. That's how they solve issues. And they end up hurting us because they are not accountable. They don't take responsibility for the things that they say and the things that they do, and they never will. So that's excellent, Joe. So I hope this has helped you guys. So if you're following God, you don't need to be afraid. Right on. We are survivors. Switch to faith, yes. Okay, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Yeah, so resistor, question. You say you had a narc tell you everything about narcissism or narcissist? Is that narcissism? So, yeah, they know, don't they? And they're hoping that they know more than you do. And they're hoping that they feel so confident because they know what you know, that they still think and are confident that they can, sideline you and control you. Yeah, sometimes God, yeah, he does show up at the 11th hour. Because at the 11th hour, that's when you finally submit. faith over fear. They both are choices, something that is not seen. What's the choice? Yeah, see, we can have faith in love or faith in fear. So, yeah. Wait on him. He will always provide an answer. We just have to accept the answer. We can't lean on our own understanding. Amen, Joe. Why would a narc say everything about a narcissist? It's mysterious. Maybe a confession and a warning, bragging for crimes. Yep. And they're wanting to see if you'll really run. If they, if they tell you that they're a narcissist, or they, say, I know all there is to know about narcissism. I've done my homework and I've discovered I'm a narcissist. They're kind of wanting to see if you'll run. Because if you stay, they, they're so cunning where they can charm their way into your life, that they are so secure and sure of their abilities that they'll mirror you and then tell you, oh, I'm a narcissist, but you're not going to believe that because they're proving that they're not. Like, they're being nice and kind. So when someone tells you that, that's a red flag, obviously, but they're just so, why do I want to say brash? I don't know why I wanted to say that word, but they're just so ignorantly confident. Yeah, he was trying to be my friend. Yep. Yeah. So does this stuff in this video make sense to you guys? I hope it does. Because I have to say, I felt so empowered writing this evening, where I just felt like I can't wait to put this into practice, because and this caused me to reflect, because when my husband was away at work, my ex-husband, when he was working the rigs for 2 weeks, I was reading the Bible, I was establishing my relationship with God, and I would have these talks. I would actually act like this. And I'm just like, God, you just reminded me that I used to do this, because like all this insight was just kind of inspired, and I'm just like, I used to do this, God. Oh, wow. So you're teaching me how to get back to you as well. And it's like, I remember I used to just make dinner, and I would just speak to God like he's my counselor, and I would share with him my frustrations. I would go for a walk, and I would share with him what I was thinking. And, especially with Sasquatch, I was just like, took him with me. And the things that I did is like the things that I found for investigating the signs and just the evidence that Sasquatch was around. I took God with me for protection and just to keep me company. And I just remember some of the best talks with God, like some of the best insight. Like, I remember when I started reading Hebrew, and I was trying to teach myself how to speak Hebrew, and I asked God, can you give me a dream where you talk to me in Hebrew tonight? And he did. So a relationship with him is just like that. But we can't have this kind of relationship when we're focused on the narcissist and the ego inside of us. And I didn't realize that back then on the farm, I didn't realize that when my husband wasn't around, I wasn't living in my ego. I was just living in freedom as I was just isolated on the farm, you know, talking to neighbors, not often, but every so often, and just making the shift of talking to people with this unconditional love, this character of no judgment. And that's where freedom was. And I just like was so excited. I'm like, I want that back. And so I'm going to do this tonight. I'm going to have some deep talks with God tonight. It's not complicated. So, yeah, if somebody tells you who they are, believe them. That's right. If somebody says, you know, I don't trust people, or believe them. You know, I've had, I went on a date with the narcissist, and it was just to get to know him. You know, we just had been talking on the internet for, you know, on the phone, and we met over the internet and through a dating website. Really, those things are bad. Oh my gosh. But anyways, so I went on a first date with him, and we went for coffee. And right away, he's like, he was interested in me, but he said, I don't trust people. So that's the red tail to tell you that don't get too close to me because I'm not going to trust you. You know, over the phone, he was telling me, yeah, I want a relationship. And, you know, it seemed like he wanted everything that I was after, you know, forever best friend, forever relationship, whatever. And then I meet him and he's like, yeah, I'm really attracted to you, but, you know, I don't trust people. But let's get together. Let's do this again. I'm like, thank you, no thank you. No thank you. So, yeah, they will let it slip, just little things in minor conversation. They'll tell you that their ex-wife or their ex-husband is crazy and they had to divorce them because they were just too hard to get along with. Or, you know, when they say, you know, I put my daughters first, or I put my sons first, my children come first, as they should. But when, you know, you're dating and you're in your 50s and your kids are grown, it's like, yeah, no, you're going to drop everything for them, and they can't call their friends or somebody else for help. You know, the child calls you for help, and you're just like, you drop the date to go help your child, and it's not anything serious. You know, when someone tells you that they put their child first when their child is an infant, and you know that this is an adult child we're talking about, you know, there's red flag. That's a red flag right there, because they're willing to, you know, they're not willing to fall in love with you. They're not willing to invest emotions in you, and that this shows you that they idolize their child as they objectify their children, and they have to have this appearance of the best dad ever or the best mom ever, and you know, they'll protect that appearance. They'll protect that like a badge of honor. So yeah, they do have some deep emotional scars, and it's not for us to fix. We are not their therapist. So all we can do is work on ourselves. Trust no man. That's right. I am so happy being single, and especially now knowing that, you know, with this newfound, I can get where I was back with God. We all can. We can have this relationship back with God. I'm in love. I'm in love. And I'm just so excited. I'm just like, yeah, so I'm going to go on a date with God tonight, you know, and talk to him, and, you know, just deeply talk to him. And I haven't done that in a while. So, yeah. yeah, they pretend to trust you. Exactly, they do. I just spilled tea. I missed my mouth. Got my hair, I think. Whatever. Silly. So, yeah, trust is earned, not given. That's right. And when you don't have trust, you don't have respect. And when you don't have respect, you can't have trust. So, yeah. So, I guess you guys want to mind if I call it a night? It's 11:30. And I just want to go and be with God. And I want you guys to have some time to go be with God if you want, if that's what you want. Go read some scripture before bed. Fall asleep with God on your mind. You know? And just see what happens. So I hope this video has helped you guys. Once trust is lost, you can't get it back. That's right. Once the self-respect is gone too, you can't get it back. That's why you should always have, you know what? I'm going to let this disrespect go just once because maybe you don't realize it, but if you continue to disrespect me a second time, you're going to leave me with no choice but to leave the friendship or leave the conversation or leave the room or whatever. You're throwing it back on them because you're letting them know that you're aware of what they're doing. And now if they do it a second time, it's a choice. And you're aware that they made the choice to disrespect you. So then you have to follow through on that and stand firm. So everyone, have a good night. Thank you for hanging with me. And just remember, there's important links in the description of this video if you guys want to know more information on healing, the healing process, and, you know, downloadables of Bible studies, Bible stories, healing from trauma, narcissism. It's all there. So go check it out. There's some stuff for free too. So, you know, just check out my writing. My writing might be something that you need. It's not... I don't use big words. So I don't write from a psychological perspective where you have to have a dictionary to define words that you're like, what is that word? No, it's simple reading. It's matter of fact, simple reading, easy to digest, and I hope you like it if you decide to check it out. So anyways, thank you for your time, everyone. You too, Resistor. Everyone, thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your grace and your willing to sit here and hang with me night after night, day after day. So have a great night, good sleep, and I hope to see you tomorrow. I might have company over, so so I might... just look for the community post, and I'll post, whether I'll be able to be here at 1. But if I'm not here at 1, I definitely will be back here tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Okay? So see you guys soon. God bless. Sweet dreams. Have a good night. Bye-bye.